be here today. In fact, I wasn't allowed back at Georgia Tech anymore. In August of 2021, I was kicked out of college. Mostly because I was struggling academically. Mostly because I didn't go to class. Go to class, kids. I find that as teenagers, a lot of us maybe struggled to make our bed. Maybe we lacked the motivation. Maybe we were always on a rush out the door. Maybe we just didn't see the point. My whole life, I've struggled to make my bed because I didn't have a reason to get out of bed. I have type 2 bipolar disorder. And this isn't something I could comfortably share just a short while ago. With the destigmatization of mental illness, there's been a surge of awareness of mental health, but I find that disorders like OCD, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorder get left out of the conversation. This graph represents the array of different emotions that a human might experience. That shaded area is a normal mood range, a stable array of feelings. This first peak is a manic episode, and before my diagnosis, this is what I mostly associated with bipolar disorder. These lower points are depressive episodes. They can be mild or more severe. This second peak is called hypomania, and this is what I experience as someone with type 2 bipolar disorder. Although it's less severe than a manic episode, it can still be debilitating in different ways. I have trouble focusing on my schoolwork because I have racing thoughts. I can be difficult to spend time around because I'm so loud all the time. And I can even get cramps in my ankle because I cannot stop bouncing my knee. Even so, my hypomania is easy compared to my depressive episodes. This time last year, I was at the lowest point on this graph than I've ever felt in my life. Although depressive episodes are temporary, they can be more severe than with major depressive disorder. I was living with my parents. No offense, Mom. And I was so afraid that I would spend the rest of my life in their house, not working towards any long-term goal and thinking of myself as a failure. This is when I made the deliberate decision to make a change. I had spent 3 months lying in bed, waiting for my life to get better. I started going to talk therapy. I switched my psychiatrist. I even started a new medication that's enabled me to better handle my manic episodes. But that's not what gave me change. I made the deliberate choice to turn my life around and get out of bed. If there's a chemical imbalance in your brain, sometimes it's necessary to start medication. Sometimes you need a support network to get through your life. Going to therapy, I think, could help everyone. No offense. But these things alone are not going to help you. They're not going to save you. They're not going to make your life easy. The secret to life is that it's not easy. Some of the time it can just straight up suck, and that's not going anywhere. But you learn to cope. You learn to deal. You learn to wake up and look out your window and see that it's raining and choose to start your day anyway. You learn to make your bed. During my spring 2022 semester, I had been given the opportunity to re-enroll at the Institute. I was lucky. I had been given a second chance, and I thought that with my new medication and new tools in my emotional support toolbox that it was going to be easy. I was wrong. It's Georgia Tech. I would get home at 4 in the morning sometimes, and I would have to commute to school at 7 a.m. the next morning. I was still living with my parents, no offense, because they were the only ones who could hold me accountable to be a human being. This is when I made another choice. I saved up money, and I adopted a rescue dog named Ringo. Ringo is my emotional support animal. I love him very much. I made the decision to become responsible for his life in addition to mine. And this often is the reason that I can get out of bed. On my worst days, he is not just this, but he is also my closest confidant and my best friend. But it's not this tiny creature that gives my life purpose. It is the decision that I make to take care of him, to hold myself accountable to the responsibility I've committed myself to. At 12 pounds with a P for a brain, it's not fair to ask him to relieve me of my burdens. He has no thoughts. All he wants to do is chase around a ball and have his belly rubbed. My friends continue to be my biggest support network. But even so, I can't expect them to relieve me of my burdens. That's not fair. We as humans need one another. But at the end of the day, you can't relieve all of your burdens on the people you care about. They have their own things to deal with. If you struggle with mental illness, you are loved and you are worthy. But more importantly, you are strong as heck. And if you don't struggle with bipolar disorder or any mental illness, chances are you still struggle with something on a regular basis. Life, as I said, is hard, and that's not changing. But if you spend every day waiting for something to change, for something to get better, you're going to spend the rest of your life hiding behind an excuse, and you're going to hold yourself back from your dreams. And that is not fair to yourself. Your first step forward can and will start today. Even at your best times, you may still feel like your depression will never end. You may still feel like you cannot get out of bed. You may still waste every ounce of energy you have just to make it to bedtime. This is the non-linear process called healing. This adversity, it's not going anywhere. But when you choose to seize each day with your full force, you may find that you can see a reason to keep living. You may find that you get the opportunity to give a TED Talk in front of your peers, even when you forget all of it, because you choose to rewrite it the night before. I'm seeking adversity. You may just find that you wake up every morning and you make your bed. Thank you.